In today's video, we're going to be looking at quadratic basics. Our objectives for today are identify the four main parts of a quadratic equations graph, and to use the graph to find x and or y values. The vocabulary words for this lesson are quadratic function, any function where the highest power of x is squaring. Vertex, a point where the parabola changes direction. Line of symmetry, vertical line at the vertex that splits the parabola into halves. And X-Intercept, point where a graph touches the x-axis. To start, we need to know what the four main parts of a quadratic are. The first main part is the vertex. This is a point where the graph will change directions. It will be referenced as an actual point, an x and a y value. Second is the line of symmetry. This line of symmetry is a vertical line that cuts the parabola or the quadratic into two equal halves. This happens at the vertex, and so the line of symmetry is represented by an equation where x equals the x value of the vertex. For example, if the vertex is 5, 1, then the line of symmetry is x equals 5. Third thing that we'll look at are the x-intercepts. X-intercepts are where a parabola will touch or cross the x-axis. And the fourth thing is how the graph opens. Whether it opens up or opens down. This will tell us whether we have a negative quadratic or a positive quadratic. Negative being ones that open down because they keep going down, negative, or positive, ones that open up because they keep going up, the positive. We'll now look at some examples. Here we have example 1 with this graph. I'm going to now identify our four main parts. The vertex is this point right here. Notice the graph is going down and then it hits the vertex and it starts going up. This vertex is a point and this one looks to be at positive 2, negative 4. The line of symmetry will cut this graph in half. So it cuts it at the vertex. If you notice, this dashed line that I just drew cuts our parabola into two equal halves. This right here is called the line of symmetry. That line is right at the 2 value for the x, so it is x equals 2. Our third thing are the x-intercepts. Here we're looking for where the graph crosses the x-axis. So these are two x-intercepts. Looks like one is at 0, 0, and the other looks to be at 4, 0. And this graph, as we look at it, the arrows are pointing up, meaning that this continues up So this quadratic opens up. Let's try example 2, see what we can identify from it. Here we have a vertex right there, going up, then going down. This vertex looks to be at -1, +2. We then can draw our line of symmetry right through that vertex. This line of symmetry is at -1, so it's x equals -1. We also have our x-intercepts. Now these x-intercepts don't cross at nice, easy points, so we have to estimate where they are. This one looks to be at 1/2, 0. And this one over here looks to be at -1, -2, -2.5, 0. This one, as it travels down, would be considered to be opening down. Now we're going to review how to use a graph to find x and y values. We'll be continuing with our use of quadratics. Here I have a quadratic graph, and I have some questions. First question says, f of -2. If we remember, because it's in parentheses, this is an x value. So I go to the x value of -2, travel down. Wherever I hit the graph, I'm going to travel over to the y to see about where it is. It looks like that's at -5. Then I go f of x equals 1. This value over here is considered a y value. So I'm going to go to my y of 1, and I'm going to go over to the graph and see about where that is. Looks like I have an x value of about 1. But if you look closely, I have another one on the other side. This one looks to be at -3. This says x equals 0. So I'm going to go to 0 and go down, and it looks like that happens at -5. My last one says y equals 2. So I go to 2, I go over to both sides, and it looks like I have to estimate both of these answers. This first one I'm going to go with -1, 2, 3. I'll go with -3.5. And the second one I will go with 1.5. This video has been about the quadratic basics. If there is anything that you missed or you need to see again, please pause, rewind, and watch again. Thank you.